I'm in the mobile office today. I'm actually at a campground and I don't have my camper with me, but I still need to get a radio tested for you. This is a Retevis RT95 and it's one of my Amazon returns. However, this one's a tiny bit different. They sell these radios with antennas. So I've got the antenna also. And I figure what better way to test out a mobile radio than to be in the mobile office, the mobile ham shack, and try and hit a local repeater. Especially since this one comes with an antenna. So we'll get to test out both the antenna and the radio. I'd say let's get over to the bench, but we're kind of already here. So I'm going to get the antenna installed. I'm going to get back in here, verify everything is in the box that needs to be in the box, and then we're going to get it programmed because I brought my laptop and I got Chirp ready to roll. And we're going to get on the air. Let's go. Or stay. This is a Ford truck, which is all aluminum, but that doesn't mean I can't sit a mag mount up there. So that's our test install. I got a box full of test gear over here. We got the radio. Let's see that everything is inside. Actually, I already took out the owner's manual. It's a little windy. I didn't want it to blow it away. We've got the radio itself in a bag. It still has its screen protector on, so there's a pretty high chance that this is going to be just fine. Looks clean overall. Almost like it's never been used. Programming cable. We'll get this programmed up. Power cord. These are hard to break, but I'm not going to test this. I'm going to use my own power cord. The mobile hardware mounting kit, the mobile mounting bracket, and the microphone. Excellent. Mobile kit, we've got the power meter that I always use for this. This is my Surecom SW102 in this really slick 3D printed case here, which of course inside I've got my HT dummy load. That's a 10 watt dummy load. I've got the meter itself. I've got some extra connections. All of it stored nicely. I have my dummy load, but I'm not going to use the dummy load this time. I'm just going to use that antenna on the roof. My Baofeng for emergency use only. And then I have my power cord with power poles on it. And then I have power poles here that go to a cigarette lighter plug. And then they'll always tell you not to run your ham radio off of your car cigarette lighter plug. And there's a couple of reasons why you should not do that for sure. Usually the wiring from the fuse panel to the cigarette lighter socket itself isn't really gauged up appropriately to do high current draw. But I've got the owner's manual here, let me show you. So down here it says fuse location transceiver 10 amps, fuse rating 10 amps, supplied accessory DC power cable 10 amps. So it seems to me that this radio is not going to pull more than 10 amps. So if you can find the wiring inside of your dashboard somewhere and see what gauge it is, verify that it's the right gauge, and if you can find your fuse in your fuse panel and verify that it is the right fuse, then you should be good to go with that. I'm going to use an external power supply like I always did because I don't want to dig my dashboard apart and figure it out. But for a more permanent mobile installation, check out your wiring, make sure it's good enough, and make sure that your radio transmitter power is below. This is fused at 10, so it's not going to draw a full 10. Looks pretty good sitting up there, doesn't it? Programming cable ready. And then she's powering up. Nobody changed the, oh, that's loud. Nobody changed the message. 145, 150 on the dial. Let's get her programmed. All right, here's Chirp. We got the radio on. I want to do something here. I'm going to open up a recent file, and this is the local repeaters in the area that I downloaded while I was offline. I'm going to pick the first one. I'm going to hold down the command key. I'm on Mac OS. And nope, it wasn't that one. It's the shift key. There we go. So click the top one, hold the shift key, click the bottom one. Now we've got that. Right click and copy. So now I have all of these local repeater memories into my clipboard. So I'm going to do radio, download from radio, pick my serial controller, Retevis RT95, hit OK. Radio says it's reading, and the computer says it's reading, so we're good to go there. Nothing. Radio has rebooted. Settings. All right, I'm going to change this to say RT95 number 19, because that's what this is. This is the 19th RT95 that I have tested and resold. If you are interested in getting this radio, I will have a link in the description down below for you where you can get this from me directly, because I sell these. And then I want to change the display. Can I change the display here? Display mode, frequency, I want to change that. Too many characters. Well, then don't let me put in too many characters. RT9519. Change display mode over to name. Everything else looks good on here. Let's go back over to key assignment. Nice. You can change the key assignment inside of Chirp. Nice. DTMF. Nice. Let's go back to memories. I'm going to right click on number 1 and I'm going to say paste. Some memories are incompatible with this radio. Frequency 444.7500 is out of supported range. This is a chirp problem that I ran into before. I think it's just fine. I think it's just chirp's unhappy. So let's try, get rid of all of these guys here. Right click, shift, delete 5 memories, because I still want to keep them in my paste buffer. I'm going to go into settings, because there's a region setting here that we were playing with before. Select band plan, North American band plan. That should be fine. Let's go to region 2 and try and paste those guys in. Pick the first one, paste, same one, 444750 is out of range, and it's not out of range. Select band plan. Australia, let's do region 1. Same thing, select the first one, select the last one, right click, delete 5 and shift the block up, because you can make blocks, which is nice. I'm just going to delete these first 5 and leave it the way it is because there's nothing to shift up. We're going to paste. Same problem. 444750 is out of range. That is not true. Not important for this exercise. If we do need it, I'll program it in from the front panel. Radio. Upload to radio. Everything looks good. Okay. Uploading, cloning. The radio seems happy. We'll be back when it's finished programming. All right, I'm going to program in that 444 repeater by hand. All right, so 444750. So that worked. And then I'll get the rest of it done. Let's just transmit real quick. Yep, no problem. I don't know if you can see the meter up here, but we've got 1-to-1 SWR on the antenna and 22.7 watts out, KM9G. So I didn't want to show you all the programming because I know the lighting's not all that great here in this setup, but I did get it all programmed in. Let's get back over there and show you what that is. And I'll show you programming in a future video because it's actually pretty easy to do right from the front panel here. So the only thing I can't do is program in a name, but we're looking at the K0GH repeater, 444750. It's got a positive offset. You can see the, maybe you can't, but you should be able to see a positive sign, plus sign there, of 5 megahertz, and when I key down it should switch over to 449, which is plus 5, and then we've got a tone on, not a tone on receive because I didn't program it in, but you can see that there is, when I key down you'll see a CTC there, which is going to have the tone going out. I don't know if we can hit this because I don't even know how far away it is. It says it's near Coralville, which is where I am, is near Coralville. So 20 watts out, and we got a little bit of a tail there. Awesome. KM9G testing the K0GH repeater. KM9G, K0GH repeater. Anybody got a copy? All right, no copy, but we did open the repeater from here, and we did verify that that was definitely a chirp bug where it's not letting me save that. If you guys know what in chirp is preventing me from saving repeaters that are 444 megahertz, which is within the amateur band in the North American band plan, let me know. I'm sure it's something simple that I overlooked, but it should have worked just fine. Back to the other repeaters. Let's see if we can open them up and get anybody chatting. So I'm going to hit the VM button to switch over to memory mode. And then on the microphone, I've got the up and down buttons on the sides. This is KE0BX. All right, we got the repeater tail back. Nice long repeater tail. KM9G testing the KE0BX repeater. Anybody out there? Might not be able to see that because of how washed out it is, but we got 2.19 to 1 SWR at 20 watts, which is normal for this radio. Well, the SWR is based on the antenna, but the power output is normal for the radio. Nobody on that repeater. Let's go to the next one. Oh, the lock button seems to be working. Yep, there we go. This is the joint ECC, which is 145.27. No response. No, we did get a little bit back. Okay. KM9G testing the repeater. This is Kilo Mike 9 Golf testing out the repeater. Anybody got a copy? Nothing there. W0FDA, I read that backwards. 147.150. We got that. KM9G testing out the repeater. Anybody got a copy on me? KM9G on the W0FDA repeater. Looking for a signal check. Anybody out there? All right, nothing heard. Next repeater. W0JV. Oh, that gets it done. This one said it's near Iowa City, and I am in Coralville, but we made the trip. This is KM9G, checking the W0JV repeater, Kilo Mike 9 Golf. Anybody got a copy on me? KM9G, testing the W0JV repeater, Kilo Mike 9 Golf, testing W0JV. I'm over at the Coralville Dam site, looking to make a contact on the repeater. Anybody out there can hear me? Let me know. Nothing heard, which is not necessarily out of the ordinary. It depends on what time of day it is, what day of the week it is. This happens to be Mother's Day, and I'm giving Mom much needed respite from me by getting out of her hair for the day. But it kind of doesn't really matter what you say on the repeater. What matters is that you're happy when you say it, and people are going to be interested in talking to somebody who's interesting to talk to. So if you're worried about what to say on a repeater, my friend Hayden VK7HH has a course. If you've got mic fright, or you want to know what some of the different things that I said mean, or some of the different things that other hams say mean, then his course will help you out with that. I'll leave a link in the description down below, which will help you go from zero to hero, is what he calls it. He's got a couple of different modules in the course as well, so you can kind of pick what you want and get some progress where you might feel like you're stuck. Get yourself unstuck. But in the meantime, we tested out the microphone. That works. I did programming from the front panel. That works. I did chirp programming. Mostly that worked as well. We got the radio programmed. And I was able to contact 5 out of 5 repeaters. I'm down in the Coralville Dam site in Coralville, Iowa, which is near Iowa City. 3 of the repeaters are listed as being near Iowa City. I'm not from around here, so I don't know how far away that is, but it's definitely not here because it's got a different name than this place does. If you're interested in this radio, there will be a link in the description down below where you can check what all I have in inventory. I do have a couple of GMRS radios. I've got a 40 watt, I've got 220 watts. I've got these RT95s, which are 25 watts on UHF and 20 watts on VHF. And this one here has an antenna with it. So I do have some dual band antennas that work fairly well, as you heard, for getting out. 2-to-1 SWR could be a whole bunch of different reasons why that is what it is. And there's a bunch of different things you can do with it, which Hayden's course will probably help you out with as well. If you're interested, drop me a line. My email is temporarily_offline@gmail.com, and I can get this thing shipped out to you usually within a day or two. I always rhyme by accident. Be sure you're subscribed to the channel to see when new radio tests and repairs and reviews and how-tos come out. In the meantime, I have more of these radios that I got from Amazon and get back out into your hands, saving radios from e-waste. One radio at a time. Thanks for being awesome. I'll see you over there.